Okay, 225. Now that we've sort of introduced the course, we'll give a more specific introduction to what we'll do in the course in a video you'll see here later in the, I believe it's called Session 1 Getting Started module. But why digital photography? And why is it that digital photography here in the 2020s is going to be an important media? Well, it's really very, very difficult to argue that the language of modern society is kind of the web. Now, I understand that many of us understand the web as just what we do when we go to like Google Chrome. As somebody who's teaching in our CIS department, I would recommend to you to please stop using Chrome, but we'll cover that at a later time. It's not just going to Chrome and putting something in a search window. It is not going to rockvalleycollege.edu and hopefully finding what you're looking for on a website there. Really, almost all of our apps are just captures of essentially web products. So when you go to TikTok, it is an encapsulation of what is essentially otherwise just a simple website. It's an Electron app that captures that output in a more sensible environment for holding in your hand. When you go to Instagram, when you go to Threads, when you go to, please feel free to insert any app that you use there. Gmail. Really, what we're doing is we are putting an envelope around the web. And one of the things that is true with expression on the web is going to be something that has been true in art and design for as long as people have essentially, walked on two legs, is that we human beings express ourselves in ways that are important to us, whether or not that is scratching something into bone or scratching something into a cave wall or putting, please, I'm not being reductive here. I do legitimately mean this. Or putting gym selfies out on, pick your platform of choice. The entire essence of what we have been doing as human beings has been to communicate something that we feel to other people. That's it. So when you go through your life and you think that art is something that we do, or maybe it's something that you've never thought that you do, I want to potentially be the first person to tell you that art is something that is an integral part of every human experience. We all are creative in ways that maybe we haven't been allowed to explore. Maybe we're all creative in ways that honestly, I think a lot of students, when I say this is creative work, they say it's not creative work. I'm just doing blank. I'm just making a database. I'm just making a website. That's not true. Those are expressions of creativity. The gym selfie, the cave painting, and everything in between is so that you can communicate something that you're feeling to somebody else in a medium that makes an immediate impact onto how it is that they understand that expression. The web gives that to us because it really doesn't matter where you are. As long as you have access to the internet, you have access to whatever expression it is that you are going to be doing. And please don't think that and again, in the case here of the web, but in the case of print media, in the case of, pick a media, video media, which we will do in this class later on. If digital photography is a thing that exists in the 2020s, that means a big expression of that is video. And all of these things are art. All of these things are creative. We are not simply doing this so that somebody else can, make an advertising dime off of our creativity. We are not doing this so that somebody else can, simply paint over essentially with a web page, and communicate to a client somewhere that we're supposed to be purchasing their product. That is not what the core of all of this is about. It may be for somebody, but what I'm telling you is it doesn't have to be for you. These are for people, all of us, who want to be able to develop a better understanding of ways that we can express ourselves with a modern platform. That platform is the web. So, what we are going to do, irrespective of how you have ever thought about yourself before, what we are going to do is embrace the mantle of creative. We are going to embrace that we are creative beings who are going to communicate things, that we are going to communicate action, we are going to communicate information, we are going to communicate, feelings. And we are going to do that using a very, very popular media as opposed to paper or cave paintings or anything in between. The medium that we are using here is the web. And the best news is that no matter where it is that you're coming from in your experience continuum, very, very experienced, very, very inexperienced, you probably have in your possession a set of tools that will allow you to grow your understanding, to demonstrate your understanding of the creativity in this media, and be able to grow and demonstrate that understanding through the projects that we are going to complete in this class in a way that you can communicate that out to an audience, whether or not that audience is going to be captured as somebody who's going to pay you later on. So I'm referring obviously here to a portfolio of images or a portfolio of images and video, etc., that you are going to be able to demonstrate with, yeah, I'm employable. Or moreover, to demonstrate in your portfolio that this is you on your creative, expressive journey. And I think that either one of those is, number one, valid, but number two, valuable in the way that this is what a college is for, right? I argue all the time that the greatest thing, the single greatest value that you get out of coming to a college is exploring and understanding better yourself, so that when we're done, we have not created autonomous, how am I pronouncing this? We have not created automatons. We have not created people who are simply here to turn cogs in a wheel someplace. We have helped you discover who you are, and this turns out potentially to be one of those media. So why digital photography? My argument is, why not?